Have you been playing your College Football 26 Dynasty and feeling confused? You're either feeling like you're not getting the resistance that you should from the CPU, or you're getting destroyed from the CPU and you feel that it shouldn't be happening because you're not that bad of a player. Either way, the inconsistencies in the gameplay have you just going crazy. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's most likely your fault, but don't worry, I'm going to tell you how to fix it next.
And Bonds hits one high. It's a dig. It is out of here. This is caught. Diggs. Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable. Bryant for the win. Bang. Watch out. He's got getting away from the top speed. By Michael Short.
So if you're like most people, you create your own coach when you start your dynasty in college football. And last year, they didn't really offer a lot for your coaches as far as what you could edit. You had a couple settings. This year, it's similar, but they expanded upon it. And the way they expanded is through the adaptive AI. Last year, it was strictly conservative, balanced, and aggressive. And we knew what that meant. Conservative meant that the CPU would take a lot longer to adapt and adjust to what you're doing. Balanced was about half the game, and aggressive would be anywhere from a quarter to a couple possessions. They would start to change up their defense and offense based on what you were running to counter it. This year, though, they have added a whole bunch of new adaptive AI, and this completely changes the experience you're going to get from the CPU in your played games. Now, if you go into your dynasty and you use an existing coach, this adaptive AI is locked to that coach. You cannot edit it. However, the majority of people create their own coach and they hop in and they pick an adaptive AI, and they might not think anything of it. I'm here to tell you that this actually matters a lot, in which adaptive AI you choose can make the difference in your dynasty experience, gameplay experience being enjoyable versus frustrating. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go through this right now, but I do want to say real quick, thank you for checking out this video. I appreciate you. And if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I have a goal of hitting 25,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you're new and you want to help me out, I would really appreciate it. And if you like what I have to say in this video, you like this information, please like the video and help other people find it on YouTube. That's how the algorithm works. So when you get into create a coach, you're met with this screen, and you might go through and do your appearance and your gear, but then we want to get into the information tab. This is where the information that you can select will change your experience in the game. You can go through and change your playbooks later, and you can change your offense and defensive aggressiveness later. However, the adaptive AI, this is where once you click this, it's locked. But you at least get to choose it initially. And they have several different ones. They have situational strategist, balanced pressure, flexible play caller, mad scientist, reactive schemer, matchup orientated, ground control, clock and cushion, system coach. And now we're back at situational strategist. Now, people might just go through here and think what they mean and be like, oh, I think I want to be that guy. And they click it, but they don't realize that this is going to impact how the CPU plays against you. So I'm going to throw some stuff up on the screen. We're going to go through this, read this, and I'm going to kind of tell you why this is important for how you go ahead and create your dynasty head coach. Now, I do think a lot of people by default choose mad scientist, and I got two screens we're going to show. We're going to go through them. This was an interpretation early on. We got two interpretations of everything. You're going to see they do line up, and it does make sense. So for mad scientists, it says that this is most likely the most difficult adaptive AI setting, and opposing teams will operate with the expectation that you'll have a master plan for every game and consistently use new tricks such as trick plays on offense and exotic blitzes on defense to one-up opponents. So a lot of people, I think, are going through and clicking mad scientist. If you're one of those people who are like, I shouldn't be getting destroyed this bad, and you're a mad scientist, that might be why. On the contrary, if you're a person who is not getting the challenge you feel like you should be having, I suggest going to Mad Scientist. Let's continue down the line though. Situational strategist. Whether it's clock management or field position management, opposing teams will likely adjust to specific situations, forcing you to consistently be aware of what's happening in the game. And again, as you go through these, think of this as how the CPU is going to play against you. So think about that in your experience. Balanced pressure. As the name suggests, balanced pressure likely means that you will be challenged every week in all phases of the game, but not with an emphasis on one particular area. Flexible play caller. Opposing teams will likely expect you to deliver a healthy mix of runs and passes on offense and zone and man on defense. That's something where you're going to see the CPU mixing it up a lot against you, man and zone and all the different types of things. So this is going to really impact the types of plays you see being called from the CPU to match up with what they're expecting from you. Reactive schemer. Schemes in football refer to formations, play designs, and player assignments, meaning you should expect opponents to be prepared for whatever you throw at them in terms of game preparation. Matchup orientated. Whether this refers to an offense targeting a weak cornerback or an edge rusher going after a less experienced lineman, you should be prepared for the CPU to exploit your positional weaknesses. Ground control. This setting is likely designed for players who like to build a program centered around the run-heavy triple option or play overall ground game dominance. You can expect opposing defenses to load the box, making it challenging to establish a consistent run game. Clock and cushion. Clock and cushion likely refers to players who prefer to go on long drives and utilize the clock to their advantage, giving the opponent the ball as few times as possible. With that in mind, opposing defenses will likely get aggressive and try to force a turnover or 3 and outs. They're going to get very crazy with their blitz. They're going to blitz you a lot, jack up the pressure, try to take the ball out of your hands, basically. System coach. If you develop a patented system at a school, opposing teams will most likely catch on and develop countermeasures to force you to adapt and try something new. So this was this website's interpretation of the different adaptive AI. Now we're going to go to another one that it seems to kind of match up with what they have. So we got, for the maximum challenge, they say reactive schemer or mad scientist. Now think of what we just talked about and how they relate. If you have either of these two, this is going to give you the biggest challenge. They say reactive schemer forces you to diversify your playbook due to its quick defensive adjustments, while mad scientists create wild, unpredictable moments that test your adaptability. Pair with Heisman difficulty for a tougher experience. For realism, which is where I'm going to be headed, situational strategist or matchup oriented. I'm leaning to matchup oriented personally. These settings mimic real world coaching by focusing on situational awareness or exploiting player matchups, creating a more authentic college football feel. If you want balanced gameplay, you're going to want to look for balanced pressure or flexible play caller. These provide a mix of strategies without being overly aggressive or predictable. Ideal for consistent but engaging challenge. And then if you have your specific play styles of control the clock and run the ball a lot, you have those two right there. But I do feel like this is extremely important to the experience you are having in your college football dynasty, in the sense of, again, if you feel like you're just getting destroyed and you shouldn't be, maybe it's because you're on reactive schema or mad scientist and you need to go down to realism or balanced gameplay, or perhaps you're on balanced or realism and you feel like you're not getting a challenge, bump up to reactive or mad scientist. This makes a huge difference in how the game plays for you, and this is why the experiences in these games are so different and why sliders have been a lot more difficult to balance this year, because you're not just dealing with every single person has a different skill level and a different team. You're also taking into account how the CPU is playing. Everybody is going to be different based on these settings, and since we know most people create their own coach, these are going to come into play. So anyway, guys, I just want to drop this nugget. I had a lot of people asking me about what are we doing for coaching adaptive AI, because I did drop that video last year. This one's a little bit longer, a little bit more thorough. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and sticking through this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Otherwise, stay tuned to the next one. Peace.